What's up? I'm Ayla.
This is Let's Talk BL, a Boys Love podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. We are doing another long requested episode.
Oh my gosh.
We're all about the requests lately.
It's true. It's more fun because we talk about how this feels like a conversation among friends. We usually get DMs that are like, I feel like I'm talking with you guys. So we want to talk about topics that you guys want to talk about.
Also, listen, y'all, we're like at the end of the season.
It's true.
Season 3 is ending. We're in the last month of season 3. And like, listen, sometimes the well runneth dry.
It's true.
In the brain department.
Also, we talk about so many things just as BL friends that we're like, how do we
make this an episode?
Yeah.
Okay, so today, the long requested episode.
I'm so excited.
Our top 5 BLs each.
Of all time.
Of all time.
This is so hard. Back in season 1, right, we did a how to get your friends into BL.
Right, and that kind of was like a top BL episode because we were like, this is what I would suggest to show people first.
Yes.
But as I was making my list, I realized that's really different.
Yes.
So like,
because we
just
do it,
my personal favorite thing versus what I think is gonna hook someone versus what I'm like showing off to people are two very different things.
Yeah, because when somebody says like, what are your favorite BLs? Or like, if somebody is like, oh, that sounds interesting, maybe I'll watch something. I base what I recommend on what that person is.
Also, I base what I recommend a lot of times on like what I think is the most transferable when you're coming from a Western viewpoint.
Yeah. Because
there are a lot of things, like, for example, I tried to make Zach watch BL.
Yes.
And my foolishly, and it was because at the time, this is what I was about to start watching.
Yeah.
Foolishly, I was like, oh, you should watch Lovely Rider. Dumb.
Foolish.
Stupid. The whole time he was just distracted by the dumb sound effects that just like...
The sound effects were even intense for me.
But like, once you start watching Thai BLs, you kind of tune them out. Like, you don't really realize... You don't notice them anymore after a while.
You kind of miss them when they're not there. You're like,
oh, so like... I will say my top BLs and what I would recommend to get people into BL are two very different lists.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Except for the fact when we have people who DM us.
There is some overlap.
Yes, there are people who DM us and are like, I'm out of BLs, what should I watch? There's always that one go-to of like, if you haven't watched this is the thing that you should watch.
You're My Sky, Jude My Katong Pa.
Yes. And so that, I will say that is the one that kind of transcends. If I'm talking to a fellow BL fan, I do recommend what I like.
Yeah, if I'm talking to a non-BL fan, it's You Are My Sky, You Might Can Talk About. If I'm talking, we literally, like, we took a meeting the other day. Oh my God, this is the funniest thing. We literally took a meeting the other day for, like, these people that were trying to, like, basically get us to consult for that, like, kind of. It was, like, a consulting thing, and it was about BL, which was very flattering.
It was cool.
That, like, people thought we were, like...
You know. Experts. We are experts on the topic.
Questionable. But literally I realized by the end, after we hung up the call, I had spent a good 20 minutes pitching You're My Sky to them. I was like, well, and like the whole first half of the meeting, because like I'm a savvy businesswoman. I've been in business for a long time.
Yes.
In my day job, hold a like pretty prestigious, like high level position.
Yes.
I'm in the like entertainment media marketing world.
Yeah.
So like the whole time I'm like holding out. I'm like, well, we can talk about a consulting fee. We can talk about it like the whole meeting. I'm like half answering.
You're being very withholding.
Yeah,
and then at the very end, you were like, okay.
Yeah, and then finally, like, they said something, and I was like, well, if that's your goal, really, you need to look into You're My Sky. Jude My Katong, and I just start hard pitching You're My Sky. I was like, and this is why it'll work for your project, and this is why you want this, and this is who you talk to. And this, so, yes, no matter who I'm talking to, You're My Sky, Jude My Katong Fa. So I feel like we can start our list. Listen, I cheated. I'm not sorry. I cheated and I'm not
you
sorry.
told me this before. We haven't told each other our list, and I was like, we should guess each other's list.
Sure. I mean, obviously, so I cheated because I have a Thai list and an everything else list.
How dare you?
It was too hard. I was like, I literally can't. I literally can't. So I technically have a top 10, and like, if I'm being real, I have a top 11 because I have an honorable mention that didn't make it on either list, but that I felt needed to be said.
Oh my God. I even had 6, and I was like, no, I'm going to stick to the rules, and I only have a top 5.
I have a top 5 Thai and a top 5 everything else.
Okay.
At least I didn't do like top 5 Japanese, top 5 Korean.
It's true. The Japanese didn't even make my list.
So I feel like we can guess we both have You're My Sky. Yeah.
Okay, top 5 for you, Thai.
Yeah.
You're My Sky. Dark Blue Kiss.
No.
No Dark Blue Kiss?
No.
Fascinating.
That was a really hard one for me to leave off. I really, really struggled. But
yeah, that was on my list, and then I deleted it. Never Let Me Go.
Yep.
Obviously.
Yep, Never Let Me Go.
My School President?
No.
I feel like I don't know a lot of the Thai ones that you love. I Told Sunset About You?
Yep.
Okay.
I have 2 more.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of like all the ones that we've like done Series Sunday for or talked about.
We've done a Series Sunday for all the ones on my list.
2 Moons 2.
No.
Oh, fascinating.
Loved it, but if I'm like a top 5.
Yeah.
Because I love so much, and I love Dark Blue Kiss, but
wait,
yeah, I know.
Gen Y season 1 or 2?
No. No.
I can't think of what.
Okay, one of them is a BL that from the first time I watched it to now to always, I refer to as a masterpiece.
Oh, Until We Meet Again.
Until We Meet Again.
Obviously. Lord of mercy.
Yes,
What was
Until We Meet Again. I genuinely still to this day think that Until We Meet Again is a masterpiece.
It is so good.
And then another one is okay, the hint is going to be, there's a scene in this show that still to this day, if I think about it, gets me heated. Like, I get angry.
Oh my gosh. I have no idea.
The scene is, there's a woman that tells Jeff Satter his voice is nothing special.
Ingredients.
Ingredients is in my top 5, and I really struggled with that.
Interesting.
But I genuinely think Ingredients is,
Yeah.
it's an easy watch. It's a fun watch. I have always loved watching it. I love picking it up in the middle. I love watching just the end. I love watching the beginning. I love Jeff and gameplay together. I love, the story is so simple. I think that the episodes can stand alone. I think you can just watch one episode and be like good with that.
Yeah.
I think everything about it is good. And so, yes, Ingredients.
It is good. I remember I watched Ingredients all in one day. I think all in one day.
Yeah, it's a really quick watch.
And I remember just being like, I love this show. I don't know what the show is. Because it was like somewhat of like an infomercial for Tops Market.
Right, yeah, Tops Market, and then it's funny because we went to Thailand and we needed to go grocery shopping for something, and there was a Tops.
We went to Tops.
And we were like, we're in Tops.
It was very exciting. I was like, this is for you, Jeff, in gameplay.
Yeah.
Your brand deal worked. Your
it also
placement.
was filmed during COVID, so the cast is super, super limited.
Yeah.
But I love it. Yeah.
Also, it has that fun complimentary Jeff and gameplay cooking show.
Yeah.
That
the
goes
ship
along
work.
with it.
Yeah.
Which was so good.
It was so fun. So yeah, that's my Thai top 5.
Feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so everywhere else.
Everywhere else.
Trapped.
Yep.
We Best Love.
No.
Oh. Light on Me.
Yes.
Semantic Error.
Yes.
Game Boys.
No.
Cherry Magic.
No.
Make Our Days Count. Did I say that? Okay, Make Our Days Count. What other?
I have one more.
Is it Korean?
No.
It's Taiwanese.
No.
Is it Japanese?
No.
Is it Filipino?
No.
Oh, Summer Days.
No.
Oh.
I don't really consider that it was a short film.
Oh, Heartstopper?
Yeah, Heartstopper. Yeah.
Well, that's not a BL.
I mean,
JK.
listen, we're not here to get it.
I'm
And then
so
I did
sorry.
have one honorable mention
Oh, yes.
that technically is like 6. It's one honorable mention, but it's technically 6. All of Gat's filmography.
Oh my God.
Listen, it doesn't make it on the list, but
Okay.
Gen Y Season 1, Gen Y Season 2, Bad Roommate, Big Dragon.
What's That Man?
What's That Man?
So good.
Particularly What's That Man.
I mean, yes. I thought about putting What's That Man on my list.
What's That Man is what made me like Gad.
It's so good.
So, yeah, that's my honorable. So those are my lists, yes.
So good.
Indeed.
Okay, go back, relist your tie ones. What were your tie ones again?
So my tie ones were Until We Meet Again. So, and I did them in order, too. Like in...
Like top
Yeah.
5.
So, Until We Meet Again, You're My Sky, Jude My Kajang Fa.
Yeah.
It's a I Told Sunset About You, Never Let Me Go, and Ingredients.
Interesting. People in the comments should tell us what our top 5 BLs tells you about us.
Yeah, it's like your zodiac sign.
Yeah, because I feel like there is somewhat of a through line through your tie ones.
Mine makes sense.
They're
Ingredients is like my quirky one.
Yeah.
But like the rest of them
But they're
make
like
sense.
pretty grounded, and they're like...
They're moody. They all have
They're
similar
moody.
filming styles.
Yeah. There's not... I feel like even the actors in each of those shows don't really subscribe to your typical look.
Yeah.
Your typical pretty boy. Like, there's a good range.
Yeah. I have a type. I have a BL type. Okay, I want to guess yours.
Okay.
Okay, You're My Sky, Jude My Kajang Fa,
Obviously.
obviously. Love in the Air.
Obviously.
Yeah. Secret Crush on You?
No.
No, okay. Oh, and yours are all over, not just Ty.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought of this list as if I could only watch 5 shows for the rest of my life. This is what they would be.
Okay.
So it's life or death.
Oh, God. Okay, so You're My Sky, Love in the Air.
Uh-huh. You're never going to guess one of these, and I'm so excited.
I'm trying to think because I know what you kind of rewatch a lot, so I feel like that's like. But I'm surprised no Secret Crush on You because for a while you were just rewatching that back to back to back.
It's true. But I felt like Secret Crush on You and Love in the Air felt like a similar. And I would sacrifice Secret Crush on You because I liked the actors in Love in the Air more than Secret Crush on You.
I see.
Because Love in the Air, I watch on repeat almost every night. I'll like rewatch an episode just because I really love these actors.
Yeah, you do rewatch it like every day.
It's just so...
Yeah.
They're just so interesting to watch.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I went with that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know not what Zabman because you said you thought about putting on your list. No. I don't think you have a bank bow in your list at all, but I feel like it should have been an honorable mention because like bonus.
Yeah, What Zabman would absolutely be an honorable mention.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Do you want a hint?
Yeah.
There's a Taiwanese and a Korean one.
Okay. Oh, a Korean one. Semantic Error?
Yes.
Okay. And you said there's a Taiwanese one?
Yeah.
About youth? You really liked that. Oh.
I did. But this is one that I watch only episodes 1 through 11.
Oh, Make Our Days Count?
Yes.
Okay.
That is my most rewatched Taiwanese show. Oh. But I've only rewatched episode 12 when we did our series Sunday.
Right.
Because it was like...
You can't.
Because it was so far after I had watched it that I was like, I've never rewatched episode 12, so I rewatched it for that episode. I mean, it's a beautiful episode, and Wayne killed. Like, I sobbed the entire episode.
I disagree. I refuse to acknowledge that it exists. So thank
Wayne
you.
is such a good actor.
Thank you.
Okay, one more Thai one.
It's Thai.
It's old.
Okay.
It is one that I have rewatched multiple times. It's one that has an actor that we really respect.
Oh my, wait, it's not Why Are You?
It is Why Are You.
Oh my God.
I feel like it's a classic Thai one that I love Z as an actor. And it reminds me of like my early BL days because obviously Turn Type was not going to be on this list.
Right, that's what gave it away when you said it's an actor that we really respect because I recently have really, so we both recently watched Remember 15.
Oh my gosh.
And I've always liked Z as an actor. I haven't been like a Z fan, but I've always liked him.
Yeah.
I watched that show and I was like, I respect him so much because that role that he had to play in that show was rough. Right. Like, I can only imagine the toll that it took on him and just how well he did it and his commitment to it. And, like, oh my God, I respect Z so much. Like, Z, I think, might be one of the actors that I respect the most. Like, out of all actors.
I feel like we should do, like, top
5 actors. Yeah, I kind of want to do that, too, now that we're talking about it.
Because, we've talked about this before where we do have ships that we really like, but we both have individual actors.
Yeah, we're individualists.
We're not big shippers.
No. I mean, I ship Tainu. That's, like, kind of my, my guilty pleasure is Tainu. Ship it so hard.
Yeah. But yeah, why are you?
Yeah.
That scene with Z, with Tudor, oh my God, Tudor and Fighter, when Fighter is like, why have you left me? What are we doing in that bedroom?
In the room, yeah.
And it reminds me a lot of his Remember 15 character, where obviously his Remember 15 character was way darker, but ultimately they both were struggling with something and trying to come to terms with something, and they took extreme measures to, like, work through something.
Except that in Remember 15, that character doesn't stop and also has no remorse and then also victim blames. It's terrible.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
But he plays it so convincingly.
Well, I just, like, honestly, like, I respect Z so much as an actor. Like, especially after watching Remember 15. Like, I'm horrified and traumatized and, like, they put 2 trigger warnings on that episode. Right. Recently, we had a conversation with Robbie actually about like trigger warnings and like what's appropriate and not appropriate. Right. And so like every Thai BL now you get that thing that's like, this isn't real. Don't really do this.
Don't copy this behavior.
Yeah. But we had this whole conversation about how like in a lot of or not a lot, but some scenes require more of a trigger warning than that. And so like Remember 15 is a really good example of that, where they also have that, like, this is not real behavior ahead of every single episode.
Right.
But in this particular episode where the character Z plays
a very bad guy.
Yeah. Commits his crime.
Yeah.
They had a specific trigger warning before the show started about it said this episode contains XYZ.
Right.
And then at the end of the episode, they literally had a PSA.
It was Z out of character being like, this is bad. Don't do this.
Don't do this. If you're struggling with this, if you know that this has happened, like it was a full PSA. And I just wild. I respect Z so much. Not to turn this into a Z podcast, but like.
We hated Leon for good reason.
Because he did a good job.
Because he did a great job.
You're not supposed, Leon in Cutie Pie, like I firmly believe you're not supposed to like him.
Right.
Because he puts Nunu's character through the ringer.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he is rude to him. He doesn't really want to get to know him in the beginning. He's like, oh, this is only for, like, because I promised your grandpa. And, like, Nunu's character loves him. And, like, he really puts him through the ringer. And he's standoffish. And
I remember
Z does a good job. Not liking him means Z did a good job.
The first time I watched Cutie Pie, and it was when I was doing the reaction with Robbie, it was episode 7, I think it is, when they first have sex. And I remember watching that scene and them sitting on the couch and having that conversation where Kuya stops Leon and is like, wait, like, what is this? Do you really love me? What's happening?
Right.
And in that moment, I remember being like, I actually have zero clue. Like, Leon is saying all the right things, and he's telling him that he cares about him and that he's always loved him. But in that moment, I was like, I don't believe it.
Z really makes you think about the characters that he's playing. Like, you don't see Z, you see the character. And more than that, more than just not seeing Z, you really have to, like, think about the layers that he builds into characters just in the way that he plays them. I respect Z so much as an actor. Yeah. Oh my God.
The same thing, that reminds me of the same thing with Tidal. You don't see Tidal when he plays a character, right. You see the character. And I think that's why Z, the actor, has had so much trouble in his public life, is because people think they know him. And to me, Z is a blank slate. Like, I don't really know that much about Z as a person. I know Z the ship work with Nunu, and right. I know his characters, but I think that's why he stayed silent for so long, because he was like, people don't know who I am. Like, yeah. I don't need to justify anything, because, like, they're not talking about anything that's real. Like, they're, like, people don't know who I am, so, like, why do I need to address it? And then I think he finally was like, okay, I lead this public life. I probably should
like, say something about this.
This is this is getting to other people. It's not just about me. And I think that is so interesting when somebody does play character so well that people think they know this person. And Z specifically has played such a variety of characters that if you take some of the attributes from any of those characters, you can either love him or hate him. Yeah. And it's so fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Why Are You? That was one of my, like, most rewatched early on.
Interesting.
Because I didn't like Tarn Type as a show. I liked the ship work.
Right, you liked Mughal.
But I liked Why Are You? I didn't care for the ship work.
I just thought of a really funny joke that I'm not going to make on the podcast. Like, I'll tell you later.
Okay. And so it was just funny because the ship work with Z Saint was really funny to watch because Z was such a fan of Saint as an actor.
Yeah, it was cute.
Actually really sweet. So that was just such a funny dynamic. But yeah, I would say my top 5, I feel like my top 5 are pretty
it all makes sense.
Similar.
Yeah, they are pretty similar. Like, they're all pretty, like, surface level. They've all got a good amount of spice.
Yeah.
So were there any that you struggled with? Because, like, I struggled with, I was like, I got to figure out how to get Dark Blue Kiss on here. And then I was like, I want to include Big Dragon. Hear me out. First of all, God.
Yes.
Second of all,
I mean, Mossbank killed it.
I wanted to know more about those characters. Yeah. I loved even every single side character. It was funny. It was dark. It was like, It was beautifully made. Big Dragon's a good series.
Yeah, I liked all the characters in that show. Yeah. Because, that is a little bit what I based my list on, was who are actors that I want to see over and over again. Like,
in a news project or something.
Or, like, what characters do I just enjoy watching and I want to continue watching forever.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah, I feel
were there any that you, like, struggled with that you were like...
I did want to include Dark Blue Kiss because Dark Blue Kiss was, like, Tainu.
Well, and Gawain and Pod, like, kill it in that, and Apple kills it in that, and there's just, like...
There's so many. Also, Never Let Me Go was on my list, and then I got rid of it. Because I really loved Pon Puin in Futz. Like, Futz was one of my top. I've rewatched it a few times. But the overall cast of Futz wasn't something that, like, really captured me.
I've rewatched Never Let Me Go 6 times already.
Yeah.
The entire show, start to finish.
I mean, you have Pon Puin, but then you also have Chipman and Purge.
I love the storytelling. Good. I love the way it's made. I think it's beautifully shot. I love even the music selections. I like the way that they, in Never Let Me Go, when he, spoiler, drugs him in the hotel room. I love the way that they, like, faded the edges as it starts to take effect, right? Like, you see them fade, like, the edges fade, and it's before you realize that he's been drugged, and so it's, like, it's hinting at what's going on with it. It's beautiful, and I love it, and it's perfect, and I die.
You know what you need to watch The Warp Effect. And just like 3 Will Be Free, we possibly could do, like, a Warp Effect series Sunday.
Yeah.
I feel like Never Let Me Go and the Warp Effect are gonna be only friends. I feel like that's what that's gonna look like. Because they both were directed by JoJo. And he has a very specific storytelling style that I for Never Let Me Go to be his first BL that he had done was just like mind blowing. Like I'm so glad we get I'm so glad we get JoJo as a BL director.
Also, JoJo is hilarious. If you don't follow him on Twitter, follow him on Twitter. Hilarious.
He gets it. That's the thing is like he is a
BL fan. He is the
best. Yeah. He is the best version of what a BL fan could be.
He's hilarious.
And I mean him and Piaf. Like
I mean, I don't know a ton about him in the way that like I felt like I had a good handle on like who Piaf was. Because Piaf had just done so many interviews and stuff. I don't know JoJo so much, but like I follow him on Twitter and like he's funny. Like
it's true. He does a lot of those reaction videos with like all the gays at GMMTV, and you get a little bit of who he is as a person, and it is really interesting, especially because he's like, I don't know if he considers himself married. Or if he's just like in a committed relationship, because in Thailand, like he can't get married.
Legally married, although they could have left and gotten married.
Yeah, I don't think that he.
Also, you can have a marriage ceremony and be married.
Right.
So, yeah.
But his partner is a white man, and I feel like that's so fascinating.
I love it. Okay, I feel like we should do a top 5 actors episode. If you want that, comment, and maybe we'll get to that request.
It's true.
But it may be next season because we're in the last month. Schedule is not out yet, but it will come out with this episode. Yes. I decided this month is a just like hot. It's all requests and interviews because we saved the best for last. And so
absolutely
after May, we will see you all July 5th. 2023.
Tell us your top 5.
Yeah.
We want to know. I'm curious if there are some people's top 5 that like we haven't seen.
Oh yeah.
If there's like an off the beaten path type of show.
Yeah. And see, like I also struggled with not putting like Game Boys, for example, on mine because for me, Game Boys was like a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
Which like I really had to weigh it because Game Boys was a life-changing experience for me, just to like experience the fandom and experience the company and experience the actors and experience the show, like all in that experience.
Right.
Versus like You're My Sky, June My Katong Fa. The show itself was life changing, and then everything around it also was. So that's why it outweighed there. But yeah, I'm very curious to know what you guys think our top 5 BLs say about us and what your top 5 BLs are. And this has been Let's Talk BL. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and keep up with all things Let's Talk BL at Let's Talk BL.